on this on autopilot.
Yeah.
So there's that. Relationships launching February 14th. So again, I mean, yes, sign up for a session after relationship if you're still feeling like you have individual questions, but most of the stuff pertaining to manifestation, the energetics of relationship, are going to be in that course, and it's literally $16.
And it's so accessible and user-friendly. I'm so glad that exists. Yeah.
What were any, if you don't, maybe they're too personal to share, but what were any in reparenting big ones that came up for you?
Well, I think that this is funny because I wanted to talk about this anyway. I had a couple blocks from my own rigidity, or like, am I doing it right?
Yeah,
or like, do I remember? Yeah, do I remember my childhood memories enough to do this? Oh, this was a huge one for me, Lacy. I would think about something else, and it would take me out of the deep imaging, or I'd get really tired and I'd fall asleep, or all of these things, or I didn't do it the 8 days in a row, or. And I finally recently, just because I've talked to so many people who are my friends who are like, oh yeah, this Lacy, do you know this Lacy? I'm like, are you kidding? I love Lacy.
I'm like, people are going to be manifesting. It makes me so
no, it's great. There's like a whole crew of us.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's just the more people I've talked to, they're like, oh no, I didn't do it in the days, and it's fine. So I'd love if you could talk about that, because I feel like there's still a lot of unblocking and I have such the personality that, when you ask me that question, I'm like, well, I don't know. I probably haven't unblocked enough. I probably need to keep unblocking, and I probably have I know what my magnetic parents look like, but I'm not trying.
Don't
all
worry.
of these things, and I feel like I need to keep on it. So yeah, just maybe you could talk about that.
Great. Yeah, no, this is great. And those questions are universal. I need to write them out somewhere on the blog, support for Unblocked, because it can waste so much of your energy and time. And it's also a really good depiction of where you are in your authentic power, because you're still questioning so many, which just means that you were probably raised with rigidity in some way, shape, or form. So you feel like if you're not perfect, you're not doing things correctly. But number one, do it at your own pace and time. However, people who fall asleep because they are therapeutic. In fact, if I've been working with clients all day and I'm so out of my body and my nervous system is so strapped, I'll throw on one of those to take a nap, because it just takes you deep. But if you do find that you're falling asleep, I just tell people sit up in a chair. That's a great remedy to that. Also, people are like, but I don't have childhood memories. And I'm like, you do. But as a protection mechanism, even if you had a perfect childhood, we leave our bodies or we black out. That's two of our biggest defense mechanisms if we were sensitive as a child. So if you're doing this work, don't freak out if memories aren't coming up. This is what will start to loosen and unhinge them, because it's going to feel safe when you meet your magnetic parents. You're going to start to go, oh, okay. Because our subconscious, when we're in hypnosis, it can't tell the difference between what's real and not real. That's why it's so powerful for neuroplasticity. So when we start to give it these safer circumstances, it will unlock some of our memories, and all of a sudden we'll be driving 2 weeks later and we'll remember something that we've never remembered before.
Yes, that's happening.
I bet it's probably starting to unhinge. So that is so normal and okay. And I tell people, there's no right way to do this. Use those 2 months to come back around to it and see where you're at. There's no perfect way. And in fact, the more you can listen to your intuition throughout, the better. Another disclaimer that I need to write somewhere on the blog is the more relaxed you are when you go into a deep imagining, the more powerful and the more that will upheave the clarity. Meaning, I'll do them after an Epsom salt bath or a massage or something that's really made me grounded and my nervous system calm, because it will allow everything to open up so much more in the subconscious.
That makes sense.
But if I'm spinning out from a day of work and I'm out of my body, my subconscious, it doesn't even open up, So those, I just want to say, relax. But I need to write this somewhere because people have these questions.
Right now, at least it's here.
Yes.
For me, when you asked what has come up, and this is something that I wanted to talk about anyway, but my biggest block and kind of thing I'm trying to reprogram and unblock, I guess, is around body image and my mom's relationship with her body and the things that I saw modeled for me in the media and everybody had all the things. Yeah, that is really starting that is what I've mostly, and I thought, like I had the eating disorder, I had the recovering, totally. I had the this, and it's the most pervasive thing in my life, and that I've really seen there. And expanders, which I want to talk about, have helped me, and there's these things that have helped me, but it's still there, and it's something we talk about in the show every time, which I did write down to talk to you about. But could you talk about body image? I know your work doesn't focus on health things, but and even your personal relationship to your body and your body image.
Absolutely. So I have all the things. Like, I grew up with the really pretty women. I think almost, and every person will kill me for saying this, but just as someone would feel that being overweight or anything that isn't atypical American, because we set the tone, standard of beauty. I think also being beautiful is just as big of a curse as not being beautiful, because when you're growing up, again, how we shouldn't be parenting children, but you're always your worth is always commented on how beautiful you are. And so therefore it becomes your sense of worth and your sense of security. So I think there are so many degrees on the spectrum. I think every woman's affected by body image. And I'm sure every single man is in a different way. It's such an epidemic in our Western society. And so for me, I had all the things. I've never had a full eating disorder because I love food so much. Food's been my comfort and my drug, so I have it in that way. But I'm also, growing up, when you're a child of an alcoholic, you're a control freak. So you don't let yourself get out of control with anything. Like, I've never blacked out drinking before. You're so controlling. And so for me, the ways that it manifested is that I would try every diet under the sun, and I think that that's actually what's contributed to most of my issues with my endocrine system. If you ever look at a woman who had, fertility, if they ever have fertility issues, and you trace back, most of them have always yo-yoed and swinged with diets, and they didn't have a consistent diet of protein, fat, nourishing fats to really, really nourish your hormones, and protein, which is obviously what builds everything in our body. So the way for me, especially having been an actress and a model, I would do there was one point where I was doing a 500 calorie diet, which you could say is a form of anorexia, because I wanted to look like a ballerina's body. It's such a mess. It's a mess. And in fact, anyone who's in wellness, who has a voice or a blog, this is something that there needs to be a Me Too campaign for this. There needs to be normalization around this.
That's what I try to do by talking about it.
It's so important, because I've never met a woman that doesn't have some form of this. Not one. It is an epidemic.
So pervasive.
So pervasive. It's terrible, and it's contributing to everything in our life, to our hormones, to manifesting.
Our mental clarity. That's what completely. I think, the control and the sitting on your hands and the not going to the thing because you don't know about the food and you don't know of the... Absolutely. It's holding us back from what we could create in the world. I always say, I could be the president if I would have
your version of whatever that is.
But I could do whatever I wanted in the world if the amount of energy I took to counting and strategizing and controlling all these different diets
and fashion, all the it's just such a mess. So for me personally, I work on this mostly through expanders. Are my biggest ways, and I'm pretty diligent about it. So for instance,
define what an expander is too, because I think we forgot to do that.
Absolutely. So in my process, when you read in a manifestation book that's visualize what you want and it will come, I tell people that doesn't work because it's in the conscious mind. And again, we're manifesting from the structure of belief from childhood. So if there's something you're wanting that you didn't grow up believing and seeing that you could have, it's not coming through because there isn't space for it. So you have to actually go into the world and find expanders, what I call seeing as believings, or expanders, meaning that you relate to this other individual or thing enough, and that they have what you want. Therefore, your subconscious, through mirror neurons, registers, oh, well, they have that, I can have it too.
It's possible.
It's possible. And that's what creates space in your subconscious for this actual manifestation to come through. And You'll want a couple of them, especially. Though I always say the lower your self-worth is to the thing you're calling in, meaning on a subconscious level, the more you believe you can never have it, the more expanders you're going to need that reflect something you recognize of yourself. So meaning if you look at them and you're like, oh, well, they come from money or they're pretty or whatever, that's why they could have it and I can't because of X, Y, and Z, they're not your expander. You can also pick up fragment expanders, meaning they don't have the whole picture of what you want, but they have tiny little puzzle pieces of it. So that's kind of what expanders are. And you can learn more about that in the Formula Magnetism workshop. But I'll give you an example in body image for me. The two things that have been the most successful for me, three things in body image, have been deprogramming shame. The more I do that, the more worthy I feel in general in my own skin.
Can you talk about that more?
Yeah, so a lot to do with shadow and a lot to do with inner child. Okay. The more I go through and I own and I heal whatever was down below and I expand it, the more I just get comfortable in my own body, the more worthy I feel. The second part is expander. I'll say first because I'll go into expanders. The second part has also been being in relationship, because it's another different type of mirror neuron with someone who loves me like no matter what I'm at.
Yeah, without knowing that is
huge.
Me
it's so healing.
Yep.
Because I'm not having to be something that I'm not. I'm loved for exactly who I am, wherever I'm at and how I am.
Yeah,
so that's
and you're being seen.
It is. It's a form of your mirror neurons are registering. I'm accepted. Therefore, on a subconscious level, you're accepting yourself where you don't have it. So that's been very healing, because I've been in relationships in the past with people who also have their own low self-worth, right? Because wherever they're projecting it onto you, you're feeling unworthy. So I've been with people in the past where I can tell, like, when they think I'm bloated and all the, and you just, like, if you're with someone who's reinforcing that, it's not your ideal partnership. It's not going to be what expands you. And then the third have been expanders, and I'll give an example of that. So, of course, as women in Western society, we're growing up around MTV, so TV, magazines, fashion, models, and with that, we're then taking on a shitload of, insecurities and problems and subconscious low self-worth. So one of mine, I'll just give like one example of something, and I've had to do pieces of my body.
Are those media, is the media like accidental expanders?
They can be in different ways. I think like the way I don't say that they're expanding. I say that it's more of a reinforcement of what's insecure. I say modeling, like it can be shame modeling, because I don't want to confuse it of what's creating space, because it's actually limiting space and what's possible for you. Okay. But yeah, your mirror neurons are registering, your limbic brain is registering, like, that's how I should be. If I'm like that, I'll be loved and everybody in society will want me. Yeah. Exactly. So it's moving you further away from your authentic self. It's a shame. Yeah. And so for me, one of my big things was freckles. I have freckles all over my body, and I just I was so insecure about it, so shameful, especially with acting. I even had a manager this really, really well-known, successful manager who was representing me say, because on my arm there's like a sun birthmark kind of a thing that's like a constellation.
I have a really similar one on my leg.
Do you?
Yeah, I'll show you.
And I always liked it.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Thank
I have
you.
almost like the identical birthmark on
How
my leg.
funny. Yeah. That's fair, people. And she was like, yeah, I have just the person who can laser that off and you'll start getting more work. And she also told me, like, get a boob job, you'll start getting more work. So it was like it's such a terrible environment for women. But I had to do a lot of expanding around that, meaning one day I sat down and I was like, I'm going to find every societal accepted beautiful woman who has freckles all over her body that is stunning. So it would be like Julianne Moore models, and I started to find all these people and show my subconscious how fucking rad it is to have freckles all over your body. Yes. And then it just became this, like, it's kind of like a French energy where it became like this beautiful, unique thing about me. And I've had to do that with many parts of my body, even though, and I'm fully aware of this, my body, my physical human suit, is societally beautifully accepted. Mm-hmm. I've had to work through so much of my stuff, and expanders are so powerful for that, especially when it comes to aging. I'll go and find all of these other women who are aging gracefully that I identify with, and how cool through their style and accessories and their lipstick and stuff that they dress it up, you know?
Yeah.
So
I have them on my phone, and I like put them in a folder of women who I'm just like, yes, that is what I want when I'm 60 or whatever. Like my friend and I have this, my friend Val, who's on the podcast, we'll send them back and forth to each other.
You guys have to start an Instagram.
Yeah.
Like how to expand people through aging.
Yes.
This would be so helpful for people with body image issues.
Okay. It's so funny when you said that about going back to the body image expanders. I've been talking about that, not with that language, but on the podcast for years, because in eating disorder recovery, they tell you that the only proven way to improve body image is through looking at bodies your size or bigger that you find. It's called exposure therapy. Beautiful.
And
exposure therapy is the only proven way to improve body image. So it's actually a method of healing where they ask you to, even if you look at them and this is what it was like for me, and you're like, oh, gross, I don't want to look like that because it's someone bigger than you and you're not there yet mentally. Even if you like find it grotesque and you don't like it, it doesn't even matter. Just by looking at it again and again, you become more comfortable with it.
Absolutely.
Because what you see in the mirror, then, you know, if that's something in your, because all day long we're seeing images of people smaller than us, or people Photoshop, whatever, all the things. And then that way, you know, a week later, you could be looking at yourself in the mirror and be like, well, I at least recognize this.
Totally.
You know, I recognize the way that my butt, I guess I can kind of find it cute because I liked it on this other girl, or I at least saw it.
Absolutely. Reflected.
That's why it's so important to see ourselves in the
neuron
media.
Work.
Yeah.
See, that's beautiful. See, I don't even know that they're doing that in therapeutic.
Yeah. And it's like, but you just uncovered it and have different language for this thing. Yeah.
It's totally that is so helpful for people.
And it's been proven by science, exactly like your term expanders.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, speaking of expanders, I wrote down to touch on envy. You have a great blog post that I recently read when I was preparing for this, and you make this great distinction between envy and jealousy, and you talk about how envy is related to expanders. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so I think people like starting to learn how we can identify our emotions. Again, that's why, and I don't want to harp on this too much, but it is so important when we move away from the rhetoric of think positive, we're actually getting into a very constructive zone, because the more we can start to identify our emotions, they're actually the roadmap that shows us where we need to do the work. They're like the biggest key holders of where we have limiting beliefs and where we're triggered. There's something down there that's blocking our manifestation. So that's why it's so important. And I think people get jealousy and envy confused a lot, because jealousy, like in a very, like the energy of it is there's something that you're afraid you're going to lose. But with envy, it's actually what you're confused about. Something else possesses something you want. So it's like when you can identify the difference, if you're jealous and there's something you're afraid you're going to lose, there's work to do on that, right? Because there's a scarcity there. Yeah. That usually means in childhood things were taken away from you or you were abandoned. So you need to do work, because that's a block that's, you know, could be blocking you from relationships or whatever. But when you move into, you know, really working with envy, which really gets into that component of all you're doing, it's shadow work too. You're just witnessing something that you want and you're afraid you'll never have. That's what you're feeling when you feel that. So there's work. That's something you can work with. So most importantly, when we get over the like normal human emotion of envy, where you have that freak out and that tensity and that fear rise up in you, or all the stuff that comes up in you, when you can move past that and you start to look at, oh, they just have something I want. They're just showing me that exists. They become an expander for you. You start to see, to believe what's possible. So I always tell people, the moment you feel triggered through envy, don't just walk away from that energy. Like, use this. Look at what they have, what they represent, and start to map out. You know, there's a great post everybody can go, you know, as you said, go look at it. Yeah, but there's like journaling work you can do around that, and you can start to look at, well, what is it that I want that they have, and what do I need expanding on deeper? Like, work with that energy. And that's where I tell people, when you're triggered, don't just let it fly by you. When you get pissed, or you're sad, or you feel desperate, or those things, they are so beautiful. They're coming up to show you where a block is. So it's like, please use that energy. And like in the Formula and Magnetism workshop, you learn a daily 15-minute a day exercise where you take that energy and you find clarity of what it's representing. And then you go and do the really quick hypnotic work to reprogram it. So that's where I'm like, please welcome your negative emotions. They are your roadmap.
That was a huge watershed moment for me. And this is something I ask everyone who comes on the podcast, and I want to make sure I like hit all that. I'm putting like pennies in the jukebox that is Lacy Phillips, and I wanted you to hit all of these notes. But I wrote my book, which I brought you a copy of. It's all about journaling, and journaling is such a huge part of your work. Expressive writing. Can you talk about how that's been in your life? It sounds like it's something that you've been doing, you know, long before you even got into manifestation in the terms that you do now. And why is it so helpful in this?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I've been journaling. My first acting class, they taught you like journal every single day.
Oh, like
they
morning
didn't give
pages?
What is it?
Like morning pages?
Totally. Mm-hmm. They didn't give a real reason why in acting, but I think they were trying to start to have us become emotionally intelligent so that we could really understand the emotion of a character we're playing. So I've been journaling since I was like 17, pretty much daily. But for me, I like to tell people, like, journaling is a really big process because it's a way that our mirror neurons can really clearly totally register and work out what's going on. So when we just have like our thoughts going haywire and like blah, blah, blah and stuff moving all over, journaling is a really beautiful way to ground and start to me, it's like long division when I journal. It's how I uncover what's up. It allows me to get that clarity along the way. So that's why so much of my work are journaling prompts where they're like, go deeper. Like, I want you to go deeper. So it's more, to me, long division of getting that crystal clarity of what that bottom root trigger is. So that's more, for me, it's less about therapy and more about discovery, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. I love that. Gratitude. Where does that play into all of this? In the Hicks work, it's such a huge part of it. So I'd love to hear you speak on that.
So like gratitude, just as a simple energy, of course, anytime we're living in gratitude, it's projecting out something that people want to be around. It, however, is not what's determining what you're manifesting. And that's why I stay away from it in my work, because it can be a crutch for people. People who don't want to do work, if they just want to think positive and write their gratitude list every day, it's a beautiful spiritual and soul nourishing exercise. And I'm all for living in gratitude. I do a lot of gratitude practices myself, but I don't want it to be misconstrued with manifestation, because gratitude does not. I know that there's Rumi quotes on this. And I mean, again, I lived in that for a long time where gratitude, I thought that was what was going to do it. That was what was going to make me manifest, and it wasn't. So I try to steer clear of it, but I love when people have a gratitude practice. I think gratitude brings more joy in your life. It brings more happiness. It brings more awareness of what you do have. Like,
proven.
Totally.
Another thing similar to gratitude that I just thought of right now with the Hicks work was so pervasive was the assume the energy of what you want before you have it.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
So like I just put out my YouTube video on this, which is Hold the Frequency. I love to make fun of this one because my 2 cents on it, and I'll summarize what the YouTube video was about, is the more that programs like that, books like that ask us to be something that we're not, we're actually delaying our manifestations because we're exhausting more energy getting away from our authentic self than honoring our authenticness and projecting that out in a powerful state. So for me, I've done it all. Like when I was calling in relationships, I would
fake it till you make it.
Fake it till I would make. All that it was egoic. Like if I was calling in partnership, I would like dress up the other side of the bed and like make it like they're already there, and you know, like
play pretend.
Like the secret would even have you like wear a wedding ring, like if you wanted marriage and all of this stuff. And like, somebody please write in and tell me if that really was what. Yeah. And even in the YouTube video, I have people like bring to mind, and I'll ask them, and we can do it here, where you know, you just close your eyes and you just bring to mind right now the biggest manifestation, the most kismet thing you've ever manifested before. And I'll just give people a second to do that. And if that's come, I want you to look, maybe the year, 2 years leading up to it, were you able to hold that frequency of positivity the whole time? Did you break that belief that like, it's coming, I'm going to fake it, it's here? Yeah. We're human.
Can I give my example?
Yes, of course. People will learn from it.
So mine was my book deal. Like I was like, I want it to be Hay House, and I want Gabby Bernstein to write my foreword. And this was like what I so wanted 5 years ago. It was like everything. But I had no idea how that was going to happen, and it came to me when I just like didn't care anymore.
Yeah, and you're just authentically you, like in your power.
Yeah, and it was cool, and it's so who I was, 5 years ago. But now it's like I want the next thing, and you just are like, you feel far from it. But It wasn't like I didn't do any of the things. It just kind of came to me.
Totally, and that's what I like to tell people, like. I'm sure, too, if you really sat down and mapped out that experience, there's things you did to step into your power and to jump off of cliffs you were afraid of that created magnetism. But I'm sure it wasn't because you faked it until you made it. I'm yet to really meet that. It's just it's humanly impossible to hold that frequency or to be that thing entirely. And more importantly, it's another version of stuffing everything down. It's going to all come up in a different way that's not healthy. When you have, it's like the person, and I have this a lot in my practice, who has all the money, they have the dream job, they have the relationship they thought they wanted, all the things, and they're like, why am I not happy now? When they finally have received all the things, and it's like, because you have all of these things inside of you you haven't addressed. Like, you need to work through that. You need to get rid of that.
And maybe it's not even what you want, because it's not, you've been manifesting from this shell.
Totally. That's exactly.
Yeah.
And in fact, those people, it's so interesting. I have one client she's wonderful, but she is from Venezuela, and her whole programming she grew up with when she was little. She wanted to be a famous singer when she was little and had a beautiful voice. And her single mom, who had all this programming, was like, really grooming her to become like something very big and safe, like a lawyer or this or that, and also was so unhealthy because the mom's whole objective was like, you need to go to the popular parties, you need to be in the press, like it was all about this stuff. Guess what she manifested? Like, she came from Venezuela, did her undergrad at Harvard, went to Harvard Law School, became a lawyer, and did all the things. And then she had her first baby, or I think it was her second, and was like, I'm really fucking unhappy. I've always wanted to be in the arts. And then she switched over, and she became an incredible, she's a really big art advisor. But it shows you like how that was her structure of belief growing up, and she manifested it all. But guess what it brought her? A shit ton of unhappiness, you know, but she lived out her programming in her mom's dreams. So it's an example of that.
This stuff is so fascinating.
And I had to philosophize that for a long time. And I was like, it finally hit me one day. I was like, I believe in things like epigenetics. I believe in a collective consciousness and programming when you're being raised. Therefore, when we're just talking about energetics, like the way that I read energy, it's the in-between space. It's where light meets dark. It's where masculine meets feminine. It's where good meets bad. It's that polarity is magnetic energy. So when I'm looking at stuff, for instance, Aries, in my practice, Aries are the quickest manifestors if they're unblocked, because they inhabit that. Most of like the Aries women I know are bisexual. They don't adhere to masculine and femininity. as much. They're more in that abstract in-between area, so they can play with that more undefined space. That space is where anything's possible.
One more thing I wrote down that speaks to, and then I want to get to some fun quick fire questions. I would love, we addressed this a bit, but lack of clarity. So many of the questions that came in on my phone and in the Facebook group were talking about not having your purpose being all the way clear. Yeah. Knowing a bit about your purpose and what you want, and knowing you want, like we were saying at the beginning, and I relate to that so much, of knowing you want it to be something really big, and some things are coming into alignment, but just having that lack of clarity.
Absolutely. So like what I want to direct everyone towards, there's a few resources. There's a blog called Clarity Takes Time. There's a blog post on that in the blog. There's also, like I said, if you sign up for the newsletter, you'll already get a deep imagining that starts asking your subconscious and some, exercises around that. But in terms of clarity, and everyone's like, do I need to know what I want to manifest before I do this work? And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, even in the Formula and Magnetism workshop, you're going to learn, even if you have clues, that's all you need in order to start calling in. Even if you don't know what the clear picture is yet, let's say career, but you know that it is in this field maybe, or it has white walls, or employees that are nice to you, or that you live in this city maybe, or these 3 different types of cities. The clues are all you need to start feeding to the universe and co-creating. And clarity, at the end of the day, if you're not clear yet, you're not supposed to be. And that is okay. You're right where you're supposed to be. And I know when we live in like the human experience where there is such thing as time and space, it's really frustrating, especially when we're in a culture that really reinforces success and needing to be clear. But at the end of the day, like, you are picking up the tools the lessons, most importantly, that you're supposed to be learning right now. So yes, like, there are exercises you can do on clarity and tips you can do on clarity, and my new work of authenticity will have stuff like that. But still, at the end of the day, the most important message I want to impart is, if you're not clear, awesome. Like, some of the most interesting people I've worked with who are older, and they're like doing a whole new thing in their life, didn't have clarity, and they ended up manifesting the most interesting the most interesting different things they could have never imagined. So it's like being open to the possibility, but starting to really tune in to your preference, your intuition, and opening up what possibility exists while being right where you're supposed to be is actually really, really, really special.
Oh, I love that. If you don't have clarity, you're not supposed to.
Absolutely.
So good.
And don't don't book a session if you don't have clarity. With me, do the other stuff. Obviously, it's a far less investment, but also I can't tell you, and I hope you're not going to a psychic to try and get clarity, because that could really limit your potential.
Unblock, and it'll come to you.
Dude, the more you get rid of what's not serving you, like in the subconscious, in the physical level, the more things you just want and naturally desire and like are going to start showing up in your life, especially if you're expanding through expanders. So if you're having trouble with clarity, unblock, expand, and also actionably, and unblock teaches you this, actionably really starting to step into what you want, meaning like what makes you happy and what serves you, and letting go of what doesn't. It's enough to start drawing in things to you where the universe is like, ooh, let's send them more clear. They're stepping into their authenticness.
Cool. So you say in the Formula workshop that it's better to focus on a material thing first to try. Yeah. And I was having trouble with that. I was like, I mean, I want these Jessie Cam pants, but like, I think I could just probably buy them. Yeah. Like, I was like, dude, I didn't have like a specific clear thing. Like, could I do a work thing?
Absolutely.
Like, okay.
You can call in a new apartment thing. So like, it can be anything, but it's harder when people are like, a better relationship with myself. They can't, if you have something like more in the physical plane, you can actually like learn the steps better and deeper, and then move on to how that can be applicable, and you can plug it into more abstract things like that. Cool. But yeah, it can be anything material, you know, a relation, like anything you're wanting to work on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's my next thing that I'm like, excited. It's so jazzed to dive into. It'll be like a nice cozy winter thing to get
and
into.
like to really start calling in the things you're wanting.
I'm excited. Okay, so these are less magnetism focused and more just things I'm curious about. So you have such great style and your entire aesthetic, which I mentioned earlier. It seems like you have this clear style, and I want to know what inspires your style. Have you always had such a clear aesthetic? Any personal style tips? Tell me everything.
Yeah, so you know what's funny is some of the good programming I did receive is all of the women in my family who are my caretakers. So my grandmother, my aunt, and my mom.
You had a bunch of them.
Yeah, I had a lot of them around. They're very androgynous, and so they're like a more masculine, and they all have style. So when I grew up with them, for instance, most of my style reflects my grandmother and my aunt. Her name's Linda, and they would all, like, when I wanted my engagement ring, it was never like a big fat diamond or something like that. It was like, oh, I want a men's pinky ring, like a Victorian men's pinky ring. Cool. So it's always like more towards the masculine with a little feminine accents to, and who knows, that could be like bad programming, but I really connect to it. So when I look at like the people that I find the most stylish, probably me and every other woman, it's more like Diane Keaton and, you know, more masculine energies that can also embody their feminism. Yeah. I love like grounding into that and then having like red lips on it, or, you know, like really big fun sunglasses that are so flamboyantly feminine. Yes. But really anchoring it with, you know, like, and I think a lot of style that influences me are vintage French and British. I love like a good, when I look at clothes first or accessories first, it's all about the cut. It's never about like what the piece is or what's in style. I'll see, like, even the skirt I'm wearing now, when I saw that in the store, it's like, it's texture and cut. So I'm obsessed with textiles, meaning I love like native weaving. I love a lot of like, I only wear 100% of certain materials. So I only wear like 100% cotton, 100% linen. Oh, you know, I like stuff with quality, 100% wool, felt. Like it has to be super quality. So like the skirt I'm wearing now, I'm like, oh, look at that cut. Like it flares. It's so outspoken and big, but it's also just black, you know? So like me, it's always about a flamboyant touch, the cut, and masculinity with also a feminine accent.
Yeah, it's so cool. I mean, as much as you inspire me with the manifestation stuff, I think maybe even more so is your aesthetic and your style.
I'm grateful.
No, it's really iconic and specific and cool.
It makes it fun too, and it also takes stuff out of the woo-woo. It's like totally. In the practical, in the world, material, like it's still on this plane.
Yes. I think that's why that kind of draws me and probably a lot of people into your work, and is for that, and they stay.
I've had people say that where they're like, "Ooh, that's a weird gateway," and then we like get in and we're like, "Fuck."
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna fix my childhood with this woman who I just liked her shirt. You know,
I really wanted those sunglasses, and now I'm like working on my shadow. It's wild.
It's great. It's so great.
Thank you so much.
So you said that your fiance is a designer. Does that inform your style? Do you guys talk about style?
I mean, it's funny because we have a super similar aesthetic when it comes to like home design and stuff like that, but
that's useful.
very useful when you're in a relationship. But and I wear a lot of his brand, but because as a woman who has body issues, and I'm curvy. I mean, I'm not by any means, I'm not overweight or anything, but I have like a butt, I have arms, you know, I have hips. So the way his line is called Older Brother, and basically we really jive because it's like the first unisex, totally biodegradable clothing that's all naturally dyed, but chic and like at opening ceremony. Yeah. So when I first met him and he told me what he did, and then I saw his brand, I was like, oh my God, like we get each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But then because it's unisex, the cut of the clothes, which is it's so magical, some of them I'll make him like retailer them for me, cool. Or I'll crop them. Yeah. So I always am a little bit of a rebel. But when and this is a beautiful thing about him, there is nothing about him that like desires a woman to put on like pink lingerie. There's nothing like that where he thinks it's way more sexy when I put together like a really cool outfit.
My boyfriend and I were just talking about that. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, thank God.
What a gift.
I was like, yeah.
Oh my God. Because I've definitely been with guys that are like turned on by like a pink push-up bra. And I'm like, dude, you are with the wrong woman.
Yeah, that makes me cringe. Like, and what you're saying about jewelry, like I could never be with someone who like gave me something I didn't like.
Yeah,
or like I think having an aesthetic is so important for relationships because not just the home thing, but it's also connected. I think that and having someone who, for me, what I know is so important to have a normal eater, what I call like a normal eater. Totally. And someone who's not like, doesn't have any kind of
allergies, fanaticism,
diety stuff. Like that's really important for me. And then the body image piece is like to have someone, I think for all women, you know,
absolutely,
for all people, but those things are like so key.
So key. Yeah. And it sounds like, you totally have your match with that. Which
it's funny. Important. I heard you talking about in another podcast about expanders that you have had from TV and movies. And when I was younger, I was like in middle school and I was watching the OC. Do you remember that show?
Totally remember it. Totally remember.
And I was obsessed with Seth Cohen.
Oh, like, he was magic.
He was the best. Yeah, totally. I was like totally obsessed with him. Yeah. And my boyfriend and I met in this like very kismet way. And the first thing I thought was like, oh, that guy kind of reminds me of Seth Cohen.
Seth Cohen expanded you.
Isn't that funny?
You know what's so funny about this? Like I'll have clients, and I say TVs are amazing places for expanding all the time. There's two reasons. One, when we're watching TV, we're in a hypnotic state. So we're already like in hypnosis, meaning our subconscious comes forward and it can't tell what's real or not real. So when you're seeing like Seth Cohen and Rachel Bilson having a relationship on it and you're like, I like that, or he's totally attractive, he's a thing, your subconscious is registering that that's possible for you. So I have like one friend client, we're each other's clients, and she had been working on partnership for a really long time and calling in a partner, and she had grown up with a certain type of modeling, which was like very successful, Upper East Side, New York, this whole thing. And then she started watching the show, I've never watched it, but it's about the bikers. I forget it.
Somebody will know.
Yeah. Let us know. Right it's all about the bikers and they're like cool bad guys and things like that. But she started watching it and there was a guy on there that she was so attracted to, and he had like the long hair and he was bad but like sensitive, and he was a biker and like not like rich or anything. Yeah. And when you feel that like insane pull while you're watching people on TV, where you're like, there's a question where you're like, am I like weirdly supposed to meet this actor and be with them in real life? All that's happening is that your soul is expressing something you're desiring that you didn't even know you wanted because of programming. So like for her, she got so into it, and she even called me one day and she was like, I know that this is going to sound insane, but I'm in LA. That's not weird. Like, and she's beautiful and stuff. Am I supposed to be with him? And I started laughing and I was like, probably not. Maybe there's a chance of that, but most likely no. And for me, I had similar stuff with like Cillian Murphy's character in I just finished it, Peaky Blinders, and the same thing in Girls, Christopher Abbott's character, which helped me expand knowing I wanted the partner I'm with. Yeah. They just like resembled his life and physicality, and he was a bad boy, but now he's a good boy, and all these things. So what's so funny about her is literally that same week she called me, she's standing in line at Rose Cafe, and she looks over and there's a guy who has all the same characteristics of the guy in the show who comes and talks to her, and now they're like living together and in love. So it was her expander. That's all her soul was communicating to her, like, wake up. Like, there's a reason you're not attracting in your partner. Your soul is desiring this experience. Yeah. So that's where deprogramming and expanders are so powerful. So powerful. Okay, I wrote this down too, in all capital letters, romantic relationships. I've heard you say that you kind of specialize in relationships. So one thing I usually ask for these sort of quick fires is greatest lesson on. So greatest lesson, greatest advice, if you kind of had to boil it down on romantic relationships. In a nutshell, here is the energetic of attracting in your partner. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it, but this is the energetic. Where you don't settle equals your partner. Mm-hmm. So the magnetism of relationships is not settling, not sleeping with, not settling, not just dating this person because you want a free meal, not settling, passing every test that comes, and that'll make more sense when you do the magnetism workshop, the formula of magnetism, but that is the energetic of attracting your partner. Obviously there's expanding and all these other things, but one equals the other. Not settling is the energetic that equals your partner.
Oh, I love that. Okay, what about once you have manifested a relationship and you're in the relationship, what is your greatest lesson on maintaining and being in a healthy partnership?
And here's like something I always want to impart on people. Everyone thinks when you manifest something, it's happily ever after. That's like, that's what makes it the cure-all. That's why people seek it. Never, ever, ever is that the case. Like if we take away the human body, the human experience, time and space, and we just go into energy, the reason why things are coming into our life is to knock us into our authentic selves. But the universe is going to send you what will catch your attention the most, to be your mirror, to mirror back to you where you're needing to get into your own authenticness. So meaning if you attract in the partner and you get them, it is not happily ever after, ever. You guys have attracted each other to be mirrors of each other, of what needs to be deprogrammed, what blocks need to be unblocked, how to evolve and come more into your authentic self. So I always like to tell people, when you're in relationship, there are all the things that we all know: communication's key, trust is everything, that they make you feel safe, inspired, like all those things that's all healthy partnership. But on a manifestation level, I always ask people to stop focusing so much on what the other person needs to change and they're your mirror. What you're projecting, you're receiving. So meaning that do like in the formula and magnetism workshop, that exercise, when your partner triggers you, don't let that energy go and don't blame them. Start to look at what about you it's projecting that's receiving that behavior back, meaning what low self-worth thing, like what's making you be able to be pushed around or manipulated or all the things. That's what the beauty of being in partnerships all about, is how much they can reflect to you that you need to shift to get into your authentic power.
Yeah, and it helps you grow, and it's not always comfortable.
Not at all. And I'll do stuff all the time where I won't even have conversations with my partner. He'll trigger me and I'll be feeling insecure, and then I'll go and do the journaling work and I'll do the reprogramming and I'll go, oh my God, when I was little, like my partner, if he's been treating me where I'm like, am I just, like a trophy to this person? And this isn't the case in this current partnership. But when I do the work on it, I'll go, oh, fascinating. When I was little, and the memory will pop up and all the things, my parents had me and I was basically just a doll for them to play with. They didn't really see me all the way and engage in me on the right level. It's not crazy that I'm projecting and receiving that in this relationship. And when I start to shift that, all of a sudden our dynamic will fully change in our relationship. So I'm like, focus less on the partner and start using that as your mirror to take accountability and change. And your relationship starts changing. And then if there's someone who can't honor that work and that shift, maybe they're not the right partner.
So good. Okay, going back to aesthetic a little bit, you, like I said, have such a clear style aesthetic, but that also translates to your graphic design and the design on your website, Free and Native. Have you always had do you have a design background? And like, what is your blogging advice and keeping everything, it feels so authentic and true to you?
So for me, I just have always had an eye of what I like and don't like. And that was something I was never, when it comes again back to intuition, I was never fuzzy about that. I'm so strong-held when it comes to design, and I know what I like and don't like. And I don't care if it's popular or not popular. That's
like cut. It's like cut.
It is, totally. It's like looking at the cut first, whether it's in style or not in style. That's again where it's a weird way that I'm in my authentic truth. I grew up around women who had the same thing, so it's not something that I had to work on. So when it comes to like aesthetic on the blog or the way that I put out work or programs or marketing, I never look and go, what is everybody else doing? I let it download through me and I go, I like that or I don't like that. It's again just the same preference, because I know what I like and what resonates with my authenticness, and what's owned is what's going to project. It can be the ugliest thing on the planet or the weirdest campaign, but people are going to notice because that's the if we're saying vibration, it's the projection that I'm putting out there is owned and authentic. So for me, I just know right away if I walk into a space, I'll be like, I like that, I don't like that, I like this, I like, you know, if I see branding. Yeah, it's just something we know. I think everybody has that, but I think that people could have been you know, shamed, or it wasn't, they were told in a household where they had a totally different aesthetic to the people raising them, that's bad and that's stupid and that's ugly or it's not good enough, and so they dim that and they don't trust their intuition anymore.
Or even for like graphic design specifically, people are like, well, it won't sell, or people won't like it if it's not this like what's trendy right now.
Totally. And so I talk to people about this all the time because I see copying so much. I get copied all the time. It's constant. And I tell everyone, like, there's a great article on this on the blog called Authentic. Google it, because I'm victim. Oh yeah, thank you. I'm victim to it too when I first started out. And so when I first was guided to start free and native, nothing like that really existed, especially that I was aware of. Everything in the like holistic blog realm was all really crunchy or really fitness. There just wasn't a masculine, more aesthetic thing. And so when I put it out, it was like people just noticed and things came to me because I was so in my authenticness with it. And then I started to look at what other people were doing, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should do that too, or I'm inspired by that, I'll try it. And it never worked for me. And I learned so early on. I mean, like year one, I put my blinders on and I don't look at what anyone's doing. So if I'm like, anyone's in my field and I see that they're moving into my lane, it's an unfollow, not in a mean way, but it's because I don't want to psychic trespass on anything that they're doing. And why that is, it's not like a kindness. I mean, it is a kindness, but I know with like, how do I put it, with 100% guarantee stamp that if I listen to every download that comes through and I honor every authentic like knowing that works for me and I put that into the world, that's what will create success right away. If I start getting it's the same thing as boundaries, manifestation boundaries. If I start letting other people sink in and then I do this and I'm listening to stuff that's not right, that's when things get fumbled and things tune out. So if people are trying to grow their brand, or they're in the arts, or they're in anything, tap into what you like, put that into the world, whatever you're most confident in. Not because other people are doing it, not because you're inspired by it, not because it's the style right now. It will translate. My brother, he reached out, I think he's 19, and a couple of years ago, he's like, I want to start a blog, but like, I'm wondering, you know, should I make it about this? It seems like people are blogging about that. And I was like, oh no. I'm like, you need to blog about, if you want to be a blogger, it needs to be your uttermost obsession. So if your thing is like a nickel collection and that is the thing you are obsessed with, it will translate to people and you will not get sick of blogging about it. Because guess what's going to happen in 6 months? You're not going to want to write another post again. So I always tell that, like, please start to honor your authenticness and get into your thing. And if people, because I know copying is such a big thing for people, if that's happening, like for me, it's an instant unfollow, it's an instant boundary. Not because I'm being mean, it's because I'm creating space to get back into my like utter authenticity.
Yeah. This was so helpful for me to hear, because I had this blog starting out when I started in college, and I loved it, and it was this wonderful thing. And then when my book came out, my publisher was like, we want it to be your name. We want it to all be under this umbrella. So I was like, okay. So I let go of this thing, the Wellness Wonderland, which actually kind of served me because it wasn't super wellness focused. I realized that wellness is an umbrella that comes, focuses on lots of different things. So that was fine to get rid of that name, but the way that I had someone build me this website that was following all the way that my photo and the this and the that, and
I can feel it all right now.
Yeah, and I cringe, but it's still the website I have, and there's parts of it that are me because I like the photo that my friend took of me, and I whatever, but I'm really in this redoing right now, and you're actually going to be the first episode of my new season.
Yay!
Yeah, and so I had this. It's like a shedding all these layers, but I'm really going back to the way this Wellness Wonderland website looks, which my boyfriend at the time built when I was in college. It was just we didn't copy anyone because I didn't know anything else existed.
Yeah, it was so authentic and so truthful.
Yeah, and I'm the way that the new way I want everything to look is much more similar to that than what it's been.
It'll be so much more successful. Like, watch anytime. I know it always. Yeah. And I watch it over and over again when I see people looking to other lanes, and I'm just like, I can see how quick that's gonna burn. Here's another great thing. I see people popping up all the time that are like manifestation guides, and I'm like, people will send it because when I launched the street, nothing like that exists. Like manifestation's been around forever, but never an advisor or coach or a guide or something. And I watch it, and I'll get a little laugh, and I'll be like, that'll burn out just as quick as it started. Because it's not going to take them anywhere because it's not their authentic truth. Right. They were inspired by something, and they're like, that looks like a wave I can follow. That's a better thing than calling myself a life coach. So I'm going to do that, and I'm like, good luck. We'll see.
Yeah. Do you feel like with this work you would ever potentially, as you grow, train other people to...
I do. We have a teacher training in the works.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Exclusive.
It'll be good. It's also just because I can't really take privates that much anymore. And I'm growing away more from privates and much more to helping people on a far bigger level than one-on-one. And so I look forward to being able to teach.
I figured you did, or I was giving you a fantastic business idea.
It is a great one. It's it would be the next thing to do. But it's also hard with it because I'll have to find people who can really read energy. Yeah. That's been the only hard component, because a lot of people email in wanting to apprentice, and it's if you're not, what makes me successful at what I do is because I come from nothing. I went through every rock bottom you can imagine, and I have a really weird gift of energy and patterning, of being able to decode it. And then when you find the formula, that, anyone can learn a formula.
And also, you forgot a bunch of things. You're also really articulate and magnetic and beautiful and all these things. But
thank you so much. But anyone without those could do this with the formula, but unless they really understand the bottoms of things, so how deep the threshold is. When you've gone through a rock bottom, when a client's in it, I love it because they're experiencing how low they can go and how much they can trust the universe. Meaning, if they're the brokest they've ever been and they've lost everything, that fear's gone. It's no longer going to be a fear again of what if because that's what stops us so much from doing stuff, is oh my God, I've never been single. What if this person leaves me? And who am I? Once you face that fear, you're like, oh, fuck it. I'm so empowered. Your threshold gets a lot greater. So that's why people I train, teacher trainings, they're going to have been through those things. They have to understand energy, so I can teach that to them on a deeper level. So it's tricky, having to hold that and find those people who can really, because obviously I'm result based. I share testimonials constantly. That's really my thing. I want people manifesting. It's not like Anastasia where you can teach anyone to do a brow. There's so many other, which that is the model, right? You have all these people working under you, and that's the model that makes it financially successful. But for me, it'll have to be different. You have to pick people and groom them.
And I can tell you're so authentic that to put your name onto anything, it's going to have to be.
They have to be able to be successful at it.
Yeah. We touched on this a little bit, social media. And how do you handle that?
It's hard,
how do you
man.
handle your relationship with your phone and being present?
Yeah.
You seem to have such a nice balance. You're so authentic, and you're one of my favorite people that I follow, and I
Thank you.
keep that tight too, you know?
Thank you.
How do you personally handle that?
So it's tricky. So for me, something that's like probably a huge cat out of the bag, I don't look at a lot of, like, I tune into when I post something in analytics and things like that, but I don't actually scroll through Instagram itself that much. It was too activating for me. I would find too many people copying me or using my language or using my photos, or where I was finally to a point. For me, the only thing that bothers me, it's not a scarcity that they'll take it. It's like, man, dude, can't you be your own? Like, there's something there where I'm such a loyal and loving person, and I want everybody to find their authenticity. So it was too activating, so I don't look at it that much. Or for psychic trespassing or seeing things that don't inspire me. I just don't want the programming around. So I don't look at that much, but I am on my phone a lot. It's a different type of addiction. In fact, it's funny because you hear all these tech people now in Silicon Valley are going back to flip phones because they're like, when they know obviously way more than we do, and they're like, in the next 10 years, a phone will be more addictive than a cigarette. Like, it's so they're like, whoa, and you have all these tech people going to flip phone, like super beta analog phones, because of how much we don't even realize how addicted we're becoming. And it is a hit of serotonin and happiness every time I look at a light.
It's a tune-out.
Quick,
it's
exactly.
Like, I'm in line, we're missing boredom, which I think is such a useful thing.
And think of our neural pathways every instant that we're looking. It's just crazy. And then my meditation teacher, I do Vedic meditation, and she said during the training, she was like, the stimulation we experience in one day was a lifetime 200 years ago for somebody. So imagine our nervous system. So it's so insane. And I don't have a real balance down. And because of the business aspect of what I do, I have to be on emails a lot, even though I have, people who are working, but there are a lot of emails that like only I can answer. So I have to be present still. Yeah. So it's so tricky. And then I have a whole nother component of like people DMing me. That's like something
another
I'm trying
inbox.
My inbox, because I'm so productive and I need things. I'm so controlling that if there are red, die.
I have that too. And there's so many, like now, Instagram is like another email. It's
so much to navigate. So I don't have a balance. I don't have it figured out. Okay. I go through spurts.
Well, next podcast.
Yeah, maybe I'll have the hack on that. And
you and me will be on flip phones.
I would love to go back to
maybe
that.
we just get them for each other.
Totally, that'd be great. We'll start that
like
revolution.
A walkie-talkie. We'll make it cool.
Or like we'll
vintage phones,
and we'll have the cups with the lines.
Ideally that's what I want.
Right? That's the perfect
I'll send
connection.
you tea infusion like over a bucket.
That would be amazing. That's awesome.
Okay, this is my favorite question to ask everyone who comes on the podcast because I'm nosy and it's like a window into their lives, which I love. So morning routines. What are maybe the first few things you do when you wake up in the morning, and then evening routines? What are the last few things you usually do in the evening to relax and shut down and wind down?
Oh man, this is hard. I'll put it this way. When I was just blogging and just starting out, I had so many beautiful rituals I would do. And now I'm so busy that it's such a joke. I look back and I'm like, I had it all figured out then. So now it's constantly in flux. It changes all the time. But I am so sacred about from when I wake up to 11 o'clock, I wake up like 5 or 6 until 11 o'clock, and I don't start work or take clients until that point. I mean, I'll answer emails or get things off to the people who work with me, but I don't like engage with clients. I don't engage with anything anything I have to be on before 11, because that's my time where I eat, I go and work out, I meditate, I do Kundalini, I do anything that's going to really set the tone for my energy. That's sacred, because my endocrine system is sensitive, that when I work with clients, it takes everything out of me. It's wild. It's just, I'm so depleted at the end of the day. And then a very sacred thing I do every day after clients is I get a massage. It's indulgent, but it's the only way my nervous system can be healthy.
Yeah.
So there's that. And at night, like the good old Epsom salt bath, I love as much as possible. I meditate at night, and that's when I do, because I do unblocked myself all the time. My own courses, I'm always in one. Right now I'm back in reparent. So
me too.
Yeah, we're in it together. It's like a group. It's like a 12-step group.
Yes.
So I'll do that at night because I'm more relaxed and that kind of, but I don't.
That's really helpful to hear that you're still doing reparent.
Yeah.
And that, because I think for me, I thought like, oh, it's going to take me so long to heal this stuff. And to know that you do that's really helpful.
Yeah. I mean, I tell people, it's such a process, but anytime you're triggered, there's something there you have to work on.
Yeah.
Like there's something to look at. And so I let being triggered be my roadmap to go, what's hiding down there? Like what, limiting belief, low self-worth, unlovable, what's down there that needs looking at?
It's so cool. Okay. Going back to the morning. So do you have like a go-to workout routine or breakfast? Do you do different things? What's kind of weird?
So because I have endocrine issues, meaning like I have adrenal issues and hormone issues, I have to eat protein within an hour of waking up. It's the only thing that'll stabilize it. So I do that, which is usually, it always varies, and I'm like a poor Irish girl at heart. Like I don't know, that's what I must have been many lives, because like I can eat goulash and I'm happy. It could be like a stew and I'm stoked on it. It could be salmon with broccoli. It doesn't have to be anything specific as long as it's super protein rich and nourishing. Cool. So that, my workout, I go, I switch off. I do HIIT workouts. We have this trainer who's like really fascinating in LA. He's super cheap. He does for the same price both my fiance and I at the same time in his garage. Like, I feel weird even calling him a trainer.
That's so fun. I want to go with you guys.
Oh, it's so fun and weird, and it's his own technique. And so we do that, and then I do HIIT in between that, high intensity, just because it allows me to work out for 20 minutes, which is all my adrenals can handle, and then I have to be done to conserve my energy. And then I practice Vedic meditation, and when I do Kundalini, I have a Kriya, or not a Kriya, I do like, I do like 3 Kriyas a morning that I think really help me, and that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's my morning.
What about greatest lesson on productivity, creativity, advice? Something I struggle with a lot is feeling a bit scattered and unclear with all that I have to do and decision making, just of like, not big decisions. I can like kind of tune into my intuition. It's the little decisions of, I have so many things to do. Yeah. Where do I start?
Totally.
Anything there?
My big thing is, if it's not a hell yes, then it's a no. If it doesn't, so I do this all the time because I love, categorizing things, and I love organizing things. So for me, if anything's coming in, if it's not a hell yes, then it's an absolute no. It's just, I don't have the energy and the bandwidth. So that's press, that's, just anything that could be product, press, opportunities, events. All of it. It's an automatic no. And that's for anything to do with business. And also what we'll do is we pull analytics on everything. So we'll see like, this is working, this is making the most money for the least amount of energy, or yada yada. So we'll cut out things that exhaust our energy more, meaning like I usually do a second social media share on Facebook, but people aren't really tuning into it, or Twitter, so we stop. Like, it's like anything that exhausts excess energy that's not successful, it's gone. So we're big about trimming the fat. I'm also really learning to delegate, because seeing clients all day, I can't really run a lot of the business aspects anymore. And so I brought on an incredible assistant editor who's really taking over the blog, and she's just so amazing. And then I have like a great creative consultant right now, and there's more that I'll be hiring. So I delegate a lot. Those are my biggest. Like, delegate. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And then cut the fat, whatever you're spending excess energy that's not giving back. There's no point.
Also good. Also useful. Okay, these ones are actually kind of quicker. Best thing you've eaten in the last week?
The last Indian food.
Indian food's so good. Favorite part of your life right now?
Oh. this is so cliche, but stepping more into my authentic self, it's becoming real liberating, like way liberating.
Greatest lesson on friendship?
Oh, vulnerability. I have none. I can't, and I'm learning that you have to communicate and be vulnerable.
Yeah, I'm that way too.
It's hard.
Okay, this is really just a time for you to recommend things. So in terms of media, podcasts, music, anything, blogs, anything that you love. And on your blog, you have so many of your current favorites. So I thought maybe you could do maybe some all-time favorites here.
Okay.
So I usually frame this question like this. You're trapped on a deserted island and you can take with you one movie, one book, one TV show, one food, one person.
Ooh, jeez, this is so much. Okay, yeah, I'll try. Are you going to ask me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just say like first thing that comes to mind. So movie.
Okay, movie would be... I'm so bad at this stuff because there's so much.
That's okay. You can say a couple.
Can I say? I'll just say
whatever you want to recommend to
favorite
people.
of all time. Totally. Kramer versus Kramer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Book.
I think every woman should read Women Code.
Oh yeah, I had Lacy Phillips on the podcast.
Good. Every woman needs to read that.
I'll link to that episode.
I'll spare my favorites for the greater good.
Cool. Yeah. What about TV show?
TV show right now I'm watching Outlander, but I'm a TV binger, so there's
a couple others that you want to say that you love?
I loved Alias Grace. I was obsessed with it on Netflix, and then obviously everybody needs to watch Game of Thrones. Duh.
Yeah.
And then also I loved Godless, I think. Lawless or Godless.
Oh
another
yeah,
Netflix
they had
show.
like a pop-up in New York.
Really?
Like, it was right next to the Wing, so I walked by it like every day. It's like a yeah, it was like an experience. Wow. They had one for Stranger Things. They had one for Godless.
Wow, yeah. Stranger Things too. They're so good. Jesus, so good. They're all so good. I could watch TV all day. No, I couldn't. I'd be depressed. But I'm obsessed with shows.
We'll go do your workout. We'll drink infusions, and we'll have a binge day.
Then it's fine.
Yeah,
I feel fine about it. Yeah, then afterwards it's perfect. It's a perfect day.
I love it. And then food. Favorite food of all time.
Japanese.
Oh yeah, we already talked about that.
Yeah.
We covered that. And person that you'd bring with you that you wouldn't get sick of.
Nobody. I would want to be alone. Yeah, Barley's not coming.
Yeah. Even though she wants to. Okay, so I always talk a bit about death. I like to talk about like sex, money, death, the things that no one likes to talk about. So what do you think happens when we die? Where are you with spirituality, God? How does spirituality play into manifestation? All of that.
Who knows? But I'm a big believer in... I love starting to learn techniques right now about like Buddhism techniques around facing death while we're alive. So in a lot of meditation, like really like a great one is sitting down and decomposing your whole body and being dead and meditate and just facing it, that fear of like, let's just see what's the scariest part of dying. Let's just live it out in meditation and just see. Then we face it and we're like, well, it doesn't have as much power over us, right? Because a lot of ego comes out of the fear of death, and that's how a lot of societies are controlled through religions and stuff like that. So I like to see how I can kind of break that mold. But I'm a big believer in reincarnation, just because I see too much in my work and also through my mom being a medium and stuff like that, and communication, where I'm just like, yeah, man, I do believe that we're spirits that keep on keeping on if we're meant to, so I do believe in that. That's my own personal. And then after we die, I don't know, it seems to be people who have a lot of near-death experiences seem to say the same thing, which is fascinating.
Yeah, cool. Well, I was super curious about that. I have 10 million more questions that I could ask you and that other people asked you, but we've been talking for a million years. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
As you know, the name of the podcast is Let It Out. So this is always the last question when I offer that to you, to let it out. Is there anything else that you wish that I would have asked that you never really get to talk about? Is there anything about you that's surprising that not a lot of people know or that you want to share?
Jeez, I'm so honest and vulnerable and oversharing. I don't know. Nothing.
If you think of it,
mind.
tell me.
Yes, I'll have to what would be... I hate pizza.
Really?
Yeah,
Barley loves it.
Barley loves pizza. I even remember being little.
I don't really like pizza either.
Isn't that funny?
I was never psyched about the pizza parties.
I always had to like pretend I like pizza.
Yeah.
I really wanted like raviolis or something. But I hate, people are always like, are you going to get pizza in New York? And I'm like, no.
Yeah. All Italian food doesn't really interest me.
Me neither.
Like,
it's too heavy.
Yeah.
Too hard to digest.
Yeah. Mexican food I like. Indian food,
same.
like any other kind,
totally.
like Japanese, like anything, like flavor-wise, any other food. But
there's some Italian, but no, I never, ever am like, let's go to Italian, ever, ever, ever.
It's so funny.
Even in Italy, I always kind of get
controversial.
Yeah, I know. I get like sick of Italian food in Italy even, where I'm like, oh, I just miss like, I don't know. It's funny. Yeah, I'm the same way. It's never my go-to.
No. Going to piss a lot of people off, this last thing we said, but I guess we'll just end it there.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, that was the episode with Lacy and Barley, her dog, Phillips. Stick around to the very end. I stuck a little piece of her and I talking at the very beginning that was just kind of silly and nice. And also, I'll tell you who's coming up on the show next week. But first, if you found value in this episode at all, it would be so cool if you could support the podcast. I realized I didn't really introduce myself at the beginning. If you are new, my name is Katie Dalebout. I've been doing this since 2013. It's my favorite thing that I've ever done, and I want to be able to keep doing this. So if you like this, first of all, subscribe in your iTunes, on your phone, or on Spotify, wherever you listen. Subscribing really helps the show, and it brings more people to it, and it would just be really nice. Also, sharing it with a friend brings more people to the show so I can keep doing it. And those ways cost you zero money. Another thing to do is join the listener Facebook group, which is a little club where we can discuss the episodes and anything that's on our minds or inspiring us. My book, we talk about sometimes, journaling. Anyway, what we're doing now with that is there's this Patreon page, and we're giving out bonuses like, a book and movie club. This month we're watching Practical Magic, which I just watched for the first time. Lacy actually told me about it. It's a movie that she really likes. And oh my gosh, I'm not even going to get into it because that movie really has affected me in the best way possible. And I want to talk about it with the Patreon group. So anyway, if you want to support the show, Patreon's a great place to do that. For the Facebook group, we're now having it be a suggested donation of $1 a month. That's $12 a year. If you can swing that, great. It's such a helpful way to support the podcast and then be in the Facebook group. And there's all sorts of bonuses on the Patreon page, like special episodes, getting things early. We're doing a topic of the month, which this month it's about indecision. And there's just a lot in there. If you can't do $12 a year, $1 a month, we'll let you in anyway, but it's just suggested. And if you're in there already, don't worry about it. But if you want to join and support Patreon, that would be really cool. And also, the last way to support the podcast, of course, is supporting the sponsors. They're brands that I genuinely like and trust, or they wouldn't be here on the podcast. All right, now for the moment you've been waiting for. The emoji for this week's episode is the dove. I forgot to ask Lacy what her favorite emoji is, but she texted me the dove quite a bit, and she's used it on Instagram. I've noticed quite a bit. It's a beautiful emoji, just like her, so it suits her. And if you're new to the podcast, what I'm even talking about with the emoji is comment on my Instagram this emoji, the dove, and it just is like this little fun inside joke where you comment at me and at Lacy, and then it lets me know that you're listening all the way to the end of this very, very long outro to a long episode. Anyway, it's just fun if you want to comment, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.
You have such a great smile.
Oh my gosh, thank you. So do you.
It's a really Midwestern smile. It's like all American, wholesome.
Really?
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
totally.
I take my Midwesternness as like a defining characteristic in my personality.
I bet, especially in this city. Like, don't let it.
Everybody says it to me. They're like, "You're from the Midwest."
Yeah.
Do I have like a scrunchie on? Like, what can you do?
You're just really nice.
Yeah.
And, like kind, happy.
It's so funny. I think I got distracted because the sky, look behind you. The sky is so pretty right now.
Catching it did you catch when the sun came out for a little bit too?
No, because when I was on the train, when I went on the train, it was like beautiful, kind of sunny, and I got on the train. When I got off, it was pouring rain.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it stopped. But
it has been shifting all day. And there's this, I'll have to show you after, but by the bathroom over there, you can open to walk out to a little fire escape. And so we kept cruising to be like, is it time for a walk yet? Or because she's a little like very California about the rain.
You really brought the nice weather though.
That's
like it's like as warm as California. The music you're hearing behind me now and all other original music in this episode is composed by Carolyn Pennypacker Riggs, and this podcast is produced and edited by Amanda Sharf and hosted by me, Katie Dalebout. Check out our website for show notes to everything mentioned.